doom doom. Very catchy melody. Wouldn't you agree? Welcome back, friends! Miss Mithil tuning in here. Glad to have you today. I hope you're doing okay this wonderful, beautiful morning. Oh, it sure is pretty outside. A little chilly, though. When I was looking at the weather last night, it was saying that it was going to be 9 degrees colder than it was yesterday. Whew! I'm glad I went out for a run while I had the chance. It's much nicer to go for a run when you're outside, when it's warm. But I was sure to make sure that I didn't go near anybody else, because while we're taking effect in the current virus outbreak, we're being very careful not to come in touch with people. We've been talking a lot about this, but I don't think we've talked about very much the good of it. Can you guess what I mean? Well, it gives us an opportunity to learn about what in our bodies fight the sickness. And that's what we're going to start off with today. Right before we start on our colors and review of what we've been learning so far this week. Now you see, when we get sick, the virus comes into our body and it's so tiny that you can't see it without what's called a microscope. And that's when it's important to look. When you go to the doctor and they might get a sample from you, maybe your saliva. Yeah, I know, it's gross, yeah. Or maybe they check your temperature, but they take that and they put it under a slide. Take the saliva under a slide and see with the microscope what kind of fight's going in your body. Now, if you've watched any superhero shows, what always comes with a superhero? Bad guy, that's right. There's always a bad guy to fight. But then no bad guy is complete without the superhero as well. So, keep that in mind. The next time you're not feeling so good, there's something inside being a superhero for you. Is that my cue? Not yet. Oh, I heard my cue. So today, Miss Mithil is going to introduce you to a very special friend. And they are going to be what's called my new co-host. I'm super excited. I would like for you to meet AntiBo. Oh, that wasn't it. AntiBo! Yeah. I thought that was my cue. You said my name. All right, sure. Yeah, close enough. All right, so yeah, nice to meet you all, boys and girls. My name is AntiBo D. Flora. I know it's kind of long, but you can either call me AntiBo or Auntie. Auntie for short. No, I'm not your mama or your daddy's sister. No, not that kind of auntie. But I once was a really tiny little particle inside your body fighting to keep you well before. But then I decided, you know what? I think it's time to take things on a bigger level. I'm going to come and talk to the kids out there and let them know what we're doing. So I told all my brothers and sisters to go ahead and keep fighting. And they're down in their bodies fighting the good fight. Some of them might be in you this very minute. Some of them might be in Miss Mithil. That's right. Everybody's got antibodies. And those antibodies are helping with fighting the viruses inside. So don't you worry. When you're feeling icky at home with a fever, you are not alone. Auntie here will always make sure of that. But of course we need help. So that's why staying home and clean and eating good foods is important. Good foods, that's a really good idea. Yeah, a lot of yummy foods. We need some of those healthy foods that you like that we can eat and have in certain, kind of like as our ammunition or our superpowers. And when we get that, we get stronger for you. Yep, that's right, Cher. What kind of foods do we have to eat that helps you with the fighting? Let's see. So, it looks a little different from the inside. You know, when you guys mush it all up, like that. So it looks a little different on the inside. I'm not sure how it looks out here, but where it is, blueberries. Oh, the little round, blue fruit. Yeah, go figure. Yeah, blueberries are a good one. Let's see. Strawberries are good. Pretty much any dark fruit. If you can find something that's dark, the darker the better. And those will help us get that ammunition to fight for you and help you feel better. Absolutely. All right. Any others? Pomegranate. That doesn't come too often in children because they might be a little sour. I can understand that. I don't care for too sour myself. I like sweet food. What makes you like sweet so much? Because I look sweet. Look at these colors. Look at this fur. Don't I look like a snow cone? I'd say so. All right. And so those are just some examples. But if you want examples of other yummy foods that you can have that'll make you stronger, then ask Mommy and Daddy to help you out with that information, okay? Pinky promise? How about pinky promise? I have a pinky now. I didn't have a pinky before. Well, we're glad to have you, Auntie. Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Are you going to be staying with us a while? I think so, for as long as y'all need me to translate what's going on. So, on that note, if you kids ever have any questions that you want to learn about how to be healthy or better ways to be healthy, what's going on the inside, be sure to write Miss Mithel here a letter, and she'll be glad to read it to me, and I'll answer it for you. If you have a nickname, like what she has, or what is it called again? Alias. Yeah, alias. Be sure to put your alias and keep your identity safe, okay? And now, excuse me, I'm so excited I burped. I'll do my best to answer it, okay? That sounds like a great idea. I'm looking forward to it. Alright, so, I didn't want to divert too much attention on me, and we can move on with the show. So, what have we been talking about? And what are we talking about now? So, we've been talking about springtime. Springtime! I gotta come. Auntie, what? When you're sitting right there, darling, the kids can't see. My bad. Alright. I'm maybe sitting over here next to Janila. Janila, you good if I sit next to you? Alright, cool. Alright, how's that? That's good. I liked it. Nice and comfy. Yeah, definitely meant nice and comfy. Alright. So, alright. The words that we used last week, do you remember what words we were going over that helps a flower grow? Oh, 2 words. Yes, 2 words. Oh, I see them right there. But do they know what's important here? The words were, do you remember? That's right. Yep, right again. Water and sun. That's what the flowers need in order to grow. Oh, look at that. You did that all yourself? Yeah, I sure did. Nice work. Can I get a front row on this one? Yeah. All right, so here we have the words water and sun. Which one was the bigger word again? Do you remember? That's right, friend. How many letters does the word water have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Water. So as you can see here, we have the waves, the water, like from the sea. Without the salt, though. No salt. They don't need no salt. No salt. That's right. Absolutely. Or the rain. Nature provides the rain a lot. So, especially lately, which we've been glad for. And what was the second word? Do you remember? You see it? Yep. Yeah, it is right there. It's not as long. The word sun. S-U-N. Oh, yeah. Okay, can I help you with that? Yep. S-U-N. 3 letters. 1, 2, 3. Ha! Like Auntie! I think Auntie has 4 letters. Oh, yeah, that's right. All right. Good try, though. I'm still learning some things. All right. So, as we were talking about different colors that we're starting to see more often, one of the biggest colors we've been seeing is green. Very fresh, very bright green. Lots of grass outside, growing brand new blades. And if you remember our activity from the other day, it was the hanging. Uh-oh. Oh dear. Oh no. Unfortunately, what happened? Some of my clovers fell off. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, but we're gonna move on. Yeah, on with the show. Yes. So here's Miss Mithrill's results of the hanging charms. Is that what it was supposed to be? Yep, I can definitely see that. So I see that hook up there at the top. And where would you put this? You could hang it up on doorways, up on the window, or even up on the ceiling in your room so you can see it at night. I would be very proud if I made something special and I could hang it up and see it every night. Absolutely. So as you can see, only one remained, but if you can use your imagination for just a second, originally they all had the clovers. And remember I made mine sparkly with the silver paint? Okay, so here's the end result as promised. You know what? Maybe I'll spruce it up some more and try again showing it off on Friday. That sounds like a plan to me. Alright, so if you happen to have made the project, again, I invite you to share your pictures if you'd like. Ask Mommy and Daddy how, and they'll be glad to help you. Absolutely. I would love to see your work. Oh, now what's this? This is what's called a color wheel. You know what art is, right? Right, it's that thing you can do. Do the things. Help me out. Art is a way to express yourself, and it can be to make something look better, sound better, or feel better. Actually, feel better? How do you mean? Like, remember, believe it or not, dancing can be an art form. Oh. You're not telling me you ain't pulling my leg. What leg? Oh. Good one, Miss Mithril. No. Dancing is a form of art and it's a form of expression. That would probably cover how you feel. Then you have visual arts, things that you use different crafts as tools to create something new. You're kidding. Like what? Oh, you can draw pretty pictures with colored pencils or crayons, paint, markers. Believe it or not, you are a piece of art. I am a piece of art? Yeah, someone felt that they really wanted to make something beautiful like you and expressive. And so they made you with all their heart. I have a piece of art in me. You absolutely do. I would say so. All right. So, in art, an artist might use these different colors. And we're going to scooch in for just a second, okay? We're going to get adjusted. Yeah, we're going to get adjusted so we can show our friends. Actually, friends, hold tight for just a minute. I'm going to adjust so that we can basically pull out the craft table and you can get a much better, closer look of what the color wheel is. I'm super excited about this. See you in just a minute, okay? Oh, where are they going? Well, actually, we're the ones going somewhere. Oh, okay. Can I come? Sure. Yay! Alright, be right back, friends. Bye! Look at there. Look at all the different colors. Is that the clovers you were talking about, Miss Mithril? Absolutely. All right. See those letters right there? It says color wheel. Gotta see it. Look at all the different colors. Some of them look like me. Yes, they do. Go ahead and move the clovers out of the way. Our pretty green clovers. So, what they start with, I know there's a lot of lines and a lot of text, but if you read it carefully, it can give you some very insightful information. When you're done with that, you simply just look at the starting color right here in the middle. Whoops, right there. Alright, so right here, it says that yellow is a warm color, and if I were to move the yellow over to a more orange color, and then orange, it would be yellow-orange. And this is what it would look like adding the green. Or excuse me, adding the blue, I apologize. So adding a little bit of blue to the yellow-orange made a darker green. How about that? It's like magic. Yeah, just a little bit. Alright, so you start looking at this tab right here. Combine it in your mind with this color at the top, and you're going to get this color. You can do it again, all over again, with the third color. So what color we got over here? We have red. See the red right there? That's the red-orange. That's in between the red and the orange. It makes a slightly lighter red to make a red-orange. That makes sense. Alright, and so this is what happens when you add red. When you add red to red, you get red. Go figure. When you add yellow to it, you get orange. Orangish red. Yeah, that's right. And when you add a little bit of blue to it, you get this grayish color right here. You can see the words there? It says adding blue. And finally, it'll say when you're adding white. See the white tab right here? Yeah. Well, that's a real pretty color. It's like a peachish color, wouldn't you say? Maybe like a manila. There are so many different names for different colors. And sometimes people tend to see slightly different colors, but that's okay. They are all correct. And finally, here's what happens when you add black to a color. Add black? Don't you just get black? No, not always. If you add just a little bit of black, you get this color right here. That's amazing. Alright, so let's see if we can do that with, let's start with the yellows and see what happens. So here we go, starting over to bring the bar right here, all the way to yellow. One more. Alright, so again, we're adding the yellow to the red to make, I know this one from personal body experience. Oh, what's that? It's orange! That's right, you're orange. I'm a little orange. And then if you were to add a little yellow, you'd have yellow-green, and then a lot of yellow here. And it goes on down the line with the green and blue to make this teal color right here. Wow, that's pretty. And then when you move it on down the line, in between blue and green would be blue-green. When you're adding white to it, you would get this color, kind of like a baby or soft blue. That's amazing. And then, of course, adding black, just a little bit of black to blue, you get a dark blue. Some might even call it a cobalt blue. This is fantastic! Alright, we'll do one more color. Okay. So we're going to start here with our blue. Yep, there's the blue. We have the blue with the red. You get, what's this? That's right, it's purple! You know your colors. Moving on down the line, you're going to have blue-violet or blue-purple. Add a little bit of yellow to make this dark green right here. And when you have violet or purple, you can call it either way, they're both correct. Add it with blue, and you're going to get this lighter lavenderish color, or lavender. Maybe a dark purple, if you will. I think I like the name lavender. Me too. It's the name of a flower, you know. Absolutely, and it smells so nice. It can help you sleep at night. Yeah, colors tend to do a lot of special things for us. So here we have the red violet. When we're adding white, we get this pretty light pink right here. And finally, adding black to our red, we get this dark red. Some might even call that maroon. Wow, this is amazing. And see how well the colors all work together? When you blend them or separate them, they make this beautiful circle. I'll say so. So what's next, Miss Mithril? Next is time for story time. Oop. And do we have a special story for you today? What's the story? What's the story? Oh, it's the one I was telling you about. Oh, can you tell me what it is? Can you tell me what it is? Yeah. They're gonna love that. So, it's not a secret anymore when we show them, right? We're gonna show them in 3, 2, and 1. This book is called Pink is for Boys. Oh, I'm gonna go give me a front row seat for this. See, sometimes people will share their favorite color, and they might worry what others might think of it. This book is to remind us that all colors is for everybody. When we can remember that, we can have a world of celebration and creativity. We can make all sorts of wonderful things happen. Just like nature, we can make a beautiful world with colors. Pink is for Boys by Rob Perlman. Illustrated by Ida Caban. Look at all those splotch marks they got going on with the colors. Do you see any colors that you like there? Me too. One more dedication page to share. You ready? This book and every color is from Mose RP. This book is from Mom, the most colorful person I know. EK. Pink is for boys and for girls. And bows and fancy clothes. What's that instrument that they're playing there? That's a piano. Oh, they look so happy playing it together. Look at those pretty balloons. Do you think they're at a party? I think so. What do you think, friends? Are they at a party? Sure does look like it. Blue is for girls and boys. Now, what they doing right there? Oh, she looks like she's making my favorite letter. Oh, AntiBo, you have a favorite letter? Yeah, it's Y. If she was lifting the other arm, she would look just like a Y. Why is Y your favorite color? Yeah, excuse me, I'm getting tongue-tied. Why is Y your favorite letter? Because that's how I look when you look at me under a microscope. That's a very good reason. And uniforms and teams. Looks like they're getting really into the game there. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Everybody! Not quite yet, Auntie. We're still reading the story. Oh, right. Sorry. Yellow is for boys and girls. Can you see what they're making right there? What's that on their heads? Or the little girl's head, rather. Yep, a crown. They're about to use their artistic expression to use their imagination. and a crown to wear. That is one big staircase. You think a lot of people could ride now if there was an emergency at the same time. That's comforting. That's a very safe house. That's one way to look at it, Auntie. Green is for girls and boys. Oh, here's our starting color. Look at all the green leaves. It looks like he's giving her a present. Isn't that nice? That's a sweet gesture. That's a very sweet thing to do. Just to do for a friend. And grass to run on. I wonder which one's the fastest. I think it could be the girl. Nah, it's definitely the boy. He's faster. What makes you say that? Because he's taller. Not to mention he's in front of her. Well, maybe the girl is slowing down so she's saving her energy so she can sprint super fast towards the end of the line. That sounds interesting. Red is for boys and girls. Look at them. They made them a little soapbox car. So they can go for a race. I always wanted to make a soapbox car and be in a soapbox derby race. But it doesn't happen, like, at all where I live. Aww. And cars racing along the track. Look how beautiful the green and the red are side by side to make this beautiful picture. Oh, here's my favorite color. Orange is for girls and boys. Oh, they're definitely being artistic there. And popsicles dribbling down sticky chins. What a beautiful day at the park. Absolutely. Now they look like they're having themselves a cooling off party. But it's not inside, is it? No, this one is outside. Purple is for boys and girls. That's a very neat balloon they got there. What is that? That's a unicorn. These are mythical but beautiful creatures. I agree. Definitely stand out. That must be why it's so purple. Because it's so regal and gorgeous. Yep. Purple is very commonly known as a royal color. And unicorns because unicorns. Decided to take their imagination one step further, huh? Brown is for girls and boys. Believe it or not, this is another one of my favorite colors. You can go with just about anything. This brown thing is wrapped up tight in big wrapping paper. Can you guess what might be in there? A bear. Uh-huh. Because teddy bears to cuddle. Black and white are for boys and girls, and puppies and kittens to pet. Can you make sounds like a puppy or a kitten? Let me hear. Ruff, 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 ruff. Meow, meow. All the colors are for everyone, girls and boys. Now that is a party. Look how happy everyone looks standing together, interacting with their colors. Whoops. And flowers and butterflies and rainbows in the sky. Now that is definitely something that we can share. Beautiful sky with rainbows. I don't think I've ever met anyone that's like, I don't like rainbows. Don't show me no rainbows today. I hope you enjoyed that story, boys and girls. Did you see any of your favorite colors in that story? Very cool. Okay, so we got time for just one more activity before we move on to our folktale. We're going to try blending some colors together. Very carefully, because we're going to use markers. Okay. See how it shines around you. Okay, gotta erase everything first. Have you had a chance to go out and play lately where you were able to see some of the colors around where you live? What colors stood out to you? Do you remember what your favorite thing was that was so colorful? Maybe it was a flower, or it could have been one of those dandelions we were talking about, the round ones with the seeds that you blow. Or how about a wild animal that was moving along, maybe a squirrel or a bunny? Okay. So, just a quick review. A couple of colors that we can combine to get other colors. Alright, and again, we want to be very careful because we don't want to literally, like really, combine the colors. Then I would have markers that don't work so well. So I'm going to think of a shape. Auntie, you got a shape in mind?
A circle.
So I'm going to make the blue circle here. We color it in just like so. Alrighty. And we're going to put a plus sign. Yeah, let's just use the blue for that. This is the plus sign. I'll go ahead and put an equal sign right there. Alright, so if we're adding blue and red together, we get a triangle. Did you know that triangles are considered the strongest shape? Whenever I think of strong, I think of red. So that's why I started with a triangle. It takes the power of 3 to make a strong, solid foundation. 1, 2, 3. And do you remember the word that we used earlier for purple? It's a regal color. That's right. So I'm going to make a star. Do a little bit of color in there. Make you feel all happy and important. Got our purple star. So a blue circle with a red triangle is going to make our purple star. And do you know why? Because you start with a circle here, and then 1 triangle, 2 triangle, 3 triangle, 4 triangle, 5 triangle. Makes a star. What do you think? Alright, I think we We can do one more. Let's see. We are going... almost thought about keeping one of the colors. I wish I could do the orange one, but they never gave me any yellow markers. You know what? I just realized I can't do any more. Well, not with the colors I have. So we're just going to have to stop there, at least for now. We'll see if we can do some more another day. Alright, boys and girls, it is time for our folk tale. And I think today's a really good one. Let's see. You ready? Last week's story was called The Black Pool. And that was a story that was reflecting the William Shakespeare play, Romeo and Juliet. This one is a little different. It's called The Friendless Pavilion. Nearly 1,000 years ago, though some people say it is much more than that, a god lived with the people of all of a tiny village. He had a son who was human, and it was the desire of the god that his son should be the ruler of the village, perhaps of the whole country. However, his son had no desire to remain in this village. It was small and far away from the nearest city. It was boring to live there. He wanted to live in a city where there was excitement and thousands of people wherever you turned, but his father would not give him enough money to make the journey to the city. So the young man decided upon the next best thing. He would live in the adjacent village where he could be with his closest friends. After he had been with his friends not more than a few weeks, he fell in love with one of the young women of the village. For a while he did not have the courage to ask her to marry him, although he had always considered himself handsome, and he believed that any girl would be more than pleased to have him for her husband. But the girl with whom he had fallen in love was proud, too proud to marry just any young man who came up to her door. When at last he asked her, she looked at him and said coldly, "I will not even consider marrying any man until he's provided me with a house covered in gold." Oh gosh, high standard. The young man could hardly believe what she had demanded. But he knew he could rely on his father, and he went to the god and asked for help. The god listened to his son's request. "Yes, I will help you," he said. "I will give you a gold-covered house on one condition. The house will be built in this village, not on the one of which you have fled, and it will stand apart from the other houses." "I cannot agree to it. I will not promise you that," cried the young man. His father replied sternly, "That is my condition. If you do not agree to it, it will not be built for you." The young man thought about his father's words for some time. "If I do not agree, she will not marry me. And if I cannot marry her, I will die," he said to himself. And he saw there was no alternative but to agree to his father's terms. The god was pleased with his son's decision, but he was not certain that the young man would understand what he was doing, so he repeated his words. "My son, are you sure that you want me to do this for you? Do you love this girl more than you hate the village from which which was your home for so many years? For, you see, I built this house for you in this village. You will have to live here until you die." Indeed, the young man had not thought about this, but he loved the girl so much that all he could do was agree. "Very well," his father said. "5 days from now at dawn you will find your golden house waiting for you." As soon as the house was finished, the young man returned to the next village to fetch the girl, but he was greeted with terrible news. "She's gone. An evil spirit living in the woods nearby has taken her away." The wise men of the village believed, "He will kill her." Again the young man ran to his father, crying, "What is the value of a golden house if my love is dead?" The god once more came to the aid of his son, and he stole the young woman away from the spirit before it could destroy her. And the couple were married. Want to see the house? There's the golden house that he made for him. And yet they were not happy. Oh. The spirit had followed them to their golden house and was tormenting them. So the young man once more went to his father. "What was the use of a golden house and a loving bride if an evil spirit rules our home?" By this time the god was tired of helping his son every time a misfortune arose, but he agreed to help him once more. "Here is some gold dust," he said. "At dusk, sprinkle it on the floor of the house. When the spirit enters your house, the dust will make it visible. Then take the golden sword, and with it you will be able to kill the spirit." The young man followed his father's instructions exactly. The spirit expired on the floor of their home, and as it did so, the golden sword vanished. Oh, that's a shame. Now, the god thought, his son and daughter-in-law would be happy at last. But he was wrong. A week later, his son returned. "Again, I need your help. Yesterday my wife said to me, 'This house is very beautiful, but I would rather have a wooden house in the village. I would like to live like other people. I am lonely here.'" The god looked at his son disapprovingly. "Of course I could have told you that, but neither you nor your wife would have listened to me. If you wanted another house, build it yourself. You are strong enough, but whatever you do, remember that you must stay in this village until you die." The young man kept his agreement, built his own house, and according to legend, lived happily ever after. Since that day, the golden house has remained empty. The people living near it believed the god moved into it shortly after the young couple moved out. They claimed that no dust is ever found on the floor of the house, but so someone must be living there. But since no one can see a god, who can really say? However this may be, in a tiny village in Rowet province, there is an ancient golden pavilion. It is called Friendless Pavilion, or Tai Sala Nirmitir, because it is quite removed from any other building, and because no one has lived in it for so long, anyone can recall it. The end. I like the moral of that story. It can be a hard lesson to learn sometimes, but simple. If you want something, you gotta be willing to work for it. And that's what the son had to do. I'd be willing to bet that we could find more pictures of that friendless pavilion. Would you like to see them next week? We'll pull some up. We'll pull some up on the friend slide. We'll see what this friendless pavilion looked like in real life. Alright, well, boys and girls, it has been a pleasure seeing you again, and I'm glad you got to meet AntiBo. Yeah, don't forget, just call me Auntie. I look forward to seeing you all too. Alright? So, without further ado, we'll see you later, okay? Alright. This is Miss Mithril and Auntie saying goodbye. See you next time, boys and girls. Bye! Bye!